Good morning. So I was thinking this morning, although in this channel, I'm going to be, I'm not going to say be all over the map, but there's certain things that that are related to the Transcendentalists that, like the map of consciousness, the work of David Hawkins, I'm going to get into philosophy in general, writings about nature, but regardless, I'm always going to try to stay anchored in the works of the Transcendentalists. Emerson, Thoreau, their publication, The Dial, which the writing, I downloaded all the publications of The Dial on my computer because the physical copies are vast. If I can find some way to print them all, that would be handy. But I haven't as of yet. So, and this goes back to the very first video I made, I believe last September, asking the question, can America find common ground? Because I firmly believe that the Transcendentalist movement was and is what defines America. And it's the most overlooked time in our history. But the writings of the Transcendentalists, that is the anchor of what defines us as Americans in our country. Especially the writings of Emerson, like his first essay on nature, his essay on self-reliance, which was that just came out of the blue, like a couple years ago, that essay, self-reliance, which I will get to. I feel a moral obligation to read directly from his essays. So I am going to start with an essay he wrote in 1842 called The Transcendentalist. And this essay was printed in The Dial in January 1843. So the first thing we have to say respecting what are called new views here in New England at the present time is that they are not new, but the very oldest of thoughts cast into the mold of these new times. You could actually say that about even our modern times, any times. The light is always identical in its composition, but it falls on a great variety of objects, and by so falling is first revealed to us, not in its own form, for it is formless, but in theirs. In like manner, thought only appears in the object it clarifies. Yeah, it's deep stuff. The stuff that came out of Emerson was deep. What is popularly called capital T transcendentalism among us is idealism with a capital I. Idealism as it appears in 1842. As thinkers, mankind has ever divided into two sects, sects, which are materialists and idealists. Now these are Emerson's thoughts. As thinkers, mankind have ever divided into two sects, materialists and idealists. The first class founding on experience, the second on consciousness, which is kind of the common thread on my channel, is consciousness, the levels of consciousness. The first class beginning to think from the data of the senses, the materialists. The second class perceive that the senses are not final and say, the senses give us representations of things, but what are the things themselves they cannot tell. The materialist insists on facts, on history, which is subjective. As we're now finding out, mankind has been around for, now call me a quack for saying this, but mankind has been around for like 300,000 years. The first civilization was Lemuria, which all these great civilizations of humanity were corrupted by entities genetically, and that transformed into Atlantis. So, which fell. The materialist insists on facts, on history, on the force of circumstances and the animal wants of man. Again, this ties back to the map of consciousness. The animal wants of man are all the frequency, the consciousness levels below 200. These are based fear, shame, guilt, desire, anger. All these things are based on animal wants, on lower consciousness. The idealist is based on the power of thought and will, on inspiration, on miracle, on individual culture. Or you could say higher consciousness. These two modes of thinking are both natural. But the idealist contends that his way of thinking is in higher nature. He concedes all that the other affirms, admits the impressions of sense, admits their coherency, their use and beauty, and then asks the materialist for his grounds of assurance that things are as his senses represent them. But I, he says, affirm facts are not affected by the illusion of sense. Understand that. He says the illusion of sense, because what I'm seeing is that our perceptions are deeply affected by ego. And as I go, I'm going to continue up the map of consciousness. You'll see that ego really affects the illusion of perception that all of us have. But I, he says, affirm facts not affected by the illusions of sense, facts which are of the same nature as the faculty which reports them, and not liable to doubt. Facts which in their first appearance to us assume a native superiority to material facts, degrading these into a language by which the first are to be spoken. Facts which it only needs a retirement from the senses to discern. Every materialist will be an idealist. But an idealist can never go backward to be a materialist. So I'm going to read just one more paragraph. The idealist, in speaking of events, see them as spirits. He does not deny the sensuous fact, by no means, but he will not see that alone. He does not deny the presence of this table, this chair, in the walls of the room. But he looks at these things as the reverse side of the tapestry, as the other end, each being a sequel or completion of a spiritual fact which nearly concerns him. This manner of looking at things transfers every object in nature from an independent and anomalous position without there into the consciousness. This manner of looking at things transfers every object in nature from an independent and anomalous position without there into the consciousness. Even the materialist Condillac, I have no idea what kind of philosophy Condillac had. Perhaps the most logical expounder of materialism was constrained to say, though we should soar into the heavens, though we should sink into the abyss, we never go out of ourselves. It is always our own thoughts that we perceive. That's amazing. What more could an idealist say? And I'm going to stop there. That's just, of course, in all these essays, I'm going to revisit the essays that I embark on. But, yeah, I should have done this earlier, but, I mean, in this essay, Emerson defines the Transcendentalist, who was really an idealist, which is based on consciousness. So I'm just going to end there. So have a good day.